Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. This video today is mostly in response to the last video I made on online chess addiction, which it seemed like a lot of you liked, and there's a lot of people in the comments talking about rating anxiety. I absolutely suffer from rating anxiety and I'm only 800. My solution now is to have two accounts on the same level. If I lose on one, I continue till I beat peak on the other and then switch. It really helps with rating anxiety. Thank you very much. Though I have rating anxiety, can you make a video going over rating anxiety? I struggle with it and I noticed it helps me from playing as much as I would want. Shout out to Icy Roo, because, well, here you go, here's your video. And I myself have experienced this, so I thought that I would make a video talking about rating anxiety. So let's get into it. Before we do though, I would really appreciate if you guys all leave a like, subscribe, leave some comments. It really helps the channel. So, all right, let's get started. So first of all, let's talk about what rating anxiety even is. Rating anxiety is basically the fear or just stress caused by the idea of losing rating points. And this often happens when we hit some kind of all-time high or maybe just like a clean number, like you just hit 1000 elo. Of course, you're kind of scared. Ooh, I don't want to lose points. Like maybe I'll just get to 1000 elo and stay here and not play anymore. And I myself have absolutely done this. It's happened a lot with Blitz and Bullet where I might hit some all-time high and then I just think to myself, ooh, that looks nice. You know, I hit 1800 or 1900. I'm just going to keep it there because it looks nice. And sometimes it was actually a good thing because I just needed an excuse to stop playing so much Blitz and Bullet. But really the underlying problem remains. And in my rapid chess, which I've worked a lot more on in the last year or two, since I started this journey to 2000 elo, there's been a little bit less of this rating anxiety, but I can say, for example, when I got to 1993, right? I had spent literally, I don't know, I think it was like 350, 400 days on this YouTube challenge to get to 2000 elo. I'm streaming, I'm at 1990 something, this win gets me the win, and of course the anxiety, the pressure kicks in. Whether you're aware of it or not, it's just kind of, sometimes it's just unavoidable. And just to show you guys, let me share my screen here. If we go to a graph of the last year of my rapid chess, so it's like bugged. I don't know why it's not showing the date for the highest rating, but here it was 1993, and I think it was in January or February. So somewhere around here, as you can see, I was getting up there 1970, somewhere there's the 1993. I lost and boom, the elo just drops. I go down to 1862, 1841. That's like a pretty huge loss. You know, that's basically 150 elo points right after I was close to 2000 elo. And then I kind of just lost motivation. I took a step back from online chess, which I think was ultimately the best thing for me. But, you know, this is just to show you guys what can happen when you're so fixated on rating. And by the way, since I have the screen up, I'll take a little moment to mention to you guys that if you are looking for a chestnut board, an electronic board where you can play online games, on chess.com, lead chess, with an actual electronic chessboard, you can use my promo code down below and you will get always 2% higher of a discount than whatever is on their website. So usually it's 12 to 17%. Use the code. It's Wesley Plays Chess, the old channel name. I appreciate it. It helps me, it helps you. And let's get back to the video. Okay, the next point is basically your rating being tied up with your sense of identity or your sense of self-worth. This might sound far-fetched and ridiculous, but if a lot of us are honest with ourselves and we look at the truth of what's going on, we wouldn't care so much about rating. We don't care really about anything unless it involves us personally, especially if it involves our own sense of self-worth and identity. And that's a very dangerous thing that often isn't talked about, I guess, because it's very normal in society, right? We have goals, we want to achieve and attain things, we're rewarded when we do, we feel bad when we don't, but this is actually just pure, like, suffering. This is basically just a guaranteed formula for pure suffering, giving your sense of self-worth or happiness or whatever to something external. So basically the result of this is that we subconsciously, arbitrarily decide some rating as being good or good enough or whatever. And so for some people that might be 1000 elo. If I hit 1000 elo, boom, I'm going to be happy. That means I'm better than all the other players below 1000, whatever. And to someone else, that might be nothing. And they're like, hey, I'm nothing. I'm a nobody unless I hit 2200 elo or 2000 elo, right? 2000 elo is very, very trendy right now because of all the videos on YouTube. And so basically, like anything else that we give our self-worth to and our happiness to externally, if we reach that thing, if we get the thing that we are projecting in the future, great, we feel happy. Boom, I hit 1000 elo, I hit 1500 elo, I hit 2000 elo, I feel happy, great. But then sure enough, you get the thing that you were looking for, the thing that you worked so hard for, and then you're there. And there's always more. There's always going to be more. And so it can be very useful to just imagine yourself getting or attaining whatever it is that you're after. In this context, we're talking about chess and chess rating. Imagine you get that rating. Just really imagine yourself there. Now what? Then what? Is that really going to make you feel happy? I don't think everyone subconsciously thinks, oh, when I get this rating, I'm going to like feel my life will be complete or I'm going to be super happy. It's not even to that extent, and it doesn't need to be. If you are worrying, stressing, and fearing something like your own rating, then you are placing some importance on it and some sense of self-worth on it. If I play a game of Scrabble and get my ass kicked, I'm not really going to care so much because I just don't really care and it doesn't define me yet at that moment. And so if we loop back around now, okay, if you do get that rating, you feel great, you feel satisfied. And if you don't, and that's where the real issue is, then we tend to experience feelings of unworthiness, of failure, of just overall negative emotions, any range of negative emotions. And then this can lead to that addictive behavior that I covered in the last video. And if you guys haven't watched that, you can click on the little link here on chess addiction. But this leads to that addictive behavior where now we're going to go try and scrape and get those elo points back. Boom, you hit 2000 elo. Then all of a sudden you get tilted, you lose a game, you drop down to 1800 elo, whatever. And then it's like, I need to get those elo points back. It's might as well be money that we've just lost here. I need to play until I get those points back. And it can kind of contribute to this vicious cycle and this addictive behavior. So to sum this point up, basically, guys, identity, your sense of self-worth being wrapped into something as silly as a rating on a board game, it's just not worth it. It will not make you happy. And if anything, it's going to ruin the game and the fun for you and definitely hurt your performance. Okay, the next point is pretty simple, which is just that your chess rating has actually very little to do with chess itself, with your chess performance itself. If I go into a game, let's say I'm playing a tournament game and I'm rated 1800 at that moment, does that mean that if I were going into that game, but in an alternate reality, I lost a couple or things worked out differently and I'm rated 1770, does that mean that I'm a better player, that I'm going to play better simply because my rating is 1800? No. Just the simple fact that you can play against someone who is rated 100 points below you and beat you or plays really, really well, and then the fact that you can play someone who's 100 points higher than you and you beat them, that shows you that every day is different, every game is different. Your rating does not define how you play. How you play defines your rating. And if you want to play better, then you definitely should not be focusing on your rating. If you're in a game, the only thing that matters is focusing on the move that's in front of you, or the next 3, 5, or 10 moves in front of you, whatever, but focusing on that chess game. We don't care if we win or we lose. We're just going to give it our all and try to have fun. Just to illustrate this example even more, Gotham Chess, who was doing the Road to GM series, he has that add-on that I think he created where when he plays on chess.com sometimes, it hides the opponent and their ratings. He has no idea who he's playing against. And the result is that a lot of the times, well, at least some of the times, he's beaten some really strong opponents.
Nice! Who did I beat?
Because he's aware that with him in particular, he has so much anxiety, whatever, he cracks under the pressure when he knows it's a 3000 rated blitz player on chess.com. I think we can all relate to this. If I hop in a rapid game right now and see a 2100, it's going to play on me psychologically. I just had this happen in an over the board tournament. And the next point, which sort of just adds extra weight to all of these aspects that can be really negatively impactful on us, is the fact that chess is often equated with intelligence. People who play chess or people who are good at chess are smart. This is like such a huge topic to unpack, and I'm not going to attempt doing this because, first of all, it would probably be smart to do a lot of research on the topic. And I know that there is some, but let's just say that, hey, of course, the top percentile of the sport are going to be probably very gifted. Let's just take Magnus for an example. His memory is unbelievable. He's literally, I mean, you can see the videos where he's just recalling games from like 1978 and he remembers the players just from looking at the position. But that doesn't mean that if you are good at chess, you're smart. It doesn't mean that if you are bad at chess, you're dumb. It doesn't mean anything. And so coming back to this and how it affects rating anxiety and our sense of self-worth and all of this. Obviously, if I play a game and I lose to someone and I really am consciously or unconsciously subscribed to the idea that my intelligence is wrapped up with chess, that if I am really good at chess, that I'm smart, that means that if my opponent beats me, they're smarter than me. And that means if I beat them, I'm smarter than them. And that means if they're higher rated than me, then they're smarter than me. We're basically like opening the door to a whole other topic, which is comparison, and comparing yourself with other people, which from a psychological standpoint does have plenty of uses. It's a very important function in human psychology. It's also a very, very dangerous one, and I would argue is just simply a road to suffering. Okay, now we are going to take a look at some of the possible solutions. Just as like a quick caveat here, obviously these are just my solutions to this problem. These are just a couple that I can think of. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But let's start with number one, which is that ultimately in chess, the only thing that really matters is that game that you're playing, that very move that you are about to play. And so you will play at your best when all of your energy and attention is put into simply laser focus, finding the best move, calculating, maybe it's intuition, who cares? But you are focused on that game and in that moment. To use a quote from Bobby Fischer, all that matters on the chessboard is good moves. All right, second possible solution here. This actually comes from a video that I did with National Master Jesse Cohen from Colorado, from my home state. We had a chess lesson, and part of that was me just simply asking his advice on the psychological, mental aspects of it, trying to reach my goal of 2000 ELO. And his response, first of all, really, really cool guy, really smart guy. No, but I just mean that as like a compliment. He really seemed like a very encouraging, philosophically minded. Like he really went into the philosophy and the psychology behind things, which I appreciated. Anyways, his point to the whole fixing rating goals and trying to attain a certain goal or rating 2000 ELO, setting attainable and concrete, well-defined goals.
Instead of rating oriented goals, give yourself skill oriented goals. What skill in chess are you working on, and how are you holding yourself accountable? And so we might give a calculation goal. Okay, like every single move, I'm going to make sure that I calculate 2 moves at a depth of 1.5. And before I make my move, I have to calculate my move, their response, my follow-up. Write down 1 through 40. And for every single time that you calculate that two moves, depth of 1.5, put a check mark next to the number. There are certain numbers that ring with people trying to get 2000, right, whatever. But if you're actually going to achieve it, you've got to find a way to take that pressure back off yourself and just be like playing chess like any other time. Otherwise,
instead of focusing on, okay, I have to reach 1000 ELO, I have to reach 1500 ELO. Focus instead on, just to give you some ideas, all right, I'm going to play the first 10 moves of this opening, the first 10 moves perfectly. So I'm going to remember the theory for 10 moves. And so you play a game, boom, you messed it up. Maybe your opponent played a move you weren't familiar with. So you study that, you analyze the game, you study it, you add it to your repertoire, you study it however you would like to study it. And the moment where you analyze a game and you see, oh wow, I've played the first 10 moves perfectly, you've just reached that goal. And that's like a very attainable goal that's going to contribute to your overall chess performance. It could be working on time management. Okay, the second my clock gets down to 3 minutes, I cannot spend more than 5 seconds per move. And just tracking, okay, how many games am I losing to time? There's any number of things as possible here, guys, but really the emphasis is on well-defined, skill-based goals that you can actually control, right? Something that's really easy is just, okay, every day or every whatever, 2, 3 days, I will study my end games for 5 to 10 minutes. That's just a matter of like self-discipline, and that's about it. And that will have an enormous impact on your chess. Better to set these progress-based goals that you can achieve like every day, because then you still get the satisfaction like every day of achieving something. Just seeing that checked off list like every day gives you that satisfaction, right? Instead of, well, today I didn't reach 2000 elo, so I suck. Okay, next day I still haven't reached 2000 elo, so I suck. I feel terrible. Okay, I am recording this obviously later. I had originally wanted to talk about sort of the root cause, as I see it, of this type of behavior being attached to rating, um, and having that sort of define you. It got a little bit too deep in terms of just not relevant to a chess video, like, and I'm not really sure still how to incorporate the sort of mindfulness, like mental health aspect to chess and all this stuff. All I know is a lot of people seem to like the last video on addiction, so my personal recommendation in that sense is to just be honest with yourself about why it is that you are worried and scared about your rating, or you're, nervous playing or whatever, instead of just having fun. And then after that, I would say, hey, if you guys have not tried meditation, I will always recommend meditation. Like some of the topics, like chess addiction and all that stuff, therapy as well, that can be interesting. But I'm going to really emphasize meditation as just a simple way to kind of calm your nervous system. There's all sorts of different practices you can look into, Buddhist meditation, yoga, like yogic meditation. There's so many, Vipassana. There's so many different types of meditation. Have fun. I'll let you guys explore. Maybe put in the comments if any of you guys meditate, which types that you like and why. Personally, I mostly did Zazen, which is Zen meditation, in terms of like formal sitting down meditation. Recently, I've gotten more into yoga stuff. I've been doing Sadhguru's inner engineering and Isha Kriya. And I like it. It's a little bit different. It's got a different flavor to it. So that I think will be a huge benefit to your chess. You can see some of the Indian grandmasters meditating, and I'm going to make a video on this at a different time. There was Victor, what's his name? Loznica, the Czech previous #1, who basically just quit. He was a super grandmaster, 27 rated plus, just quit chess because he kind of had a spiritual realization of some kind and was just like, it's not making me happy, and found something else that makes me happy. So topic for another video. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you like me to do another video on a particular topic. I appreciate you guys watching. Like, subscribe, please. Again, if you're checking out any chestnut boards or electronic boards, use my promo code. It helps me a lot. You'll get a good discount. And again, I am open for coaching. I haven't like officially published my ads, but I would love to get into coaching, whether it's mental coaching or, chess lessons for anyone who's below 1600 elo. Feel free to let me know, and I will see you guys in the next video.